Hey guys, in this video we're going to be checking out the KingKong 90GT. This is a new pre-built micro brushless racer, and this is the FreeSky version. Comes in this really cool looking case that you can carry it around with. However, you can't carry it around in this configuration with the props on. Possibly with moving some of these internal components around you could do that. But it's pretty nice otherwise. Here's some stats here on what's in here. It's a 90 millimeter motor to motor. It's got an F3 flight controller, 1103 1700 kV motors, 4-in-1 ESC, only 3 amps, BLLAS. It's got a 16 channel video transmitter, 25 milliwatts, 800 TV line camera with 150 degree field of view, and it says it weighs 42.9 grams without the receiver and battery. Let's take a look at what we got here with that quad. We'll look at that in a second. Looks like we got some sort of a checklist here for quality control. So it looks like maybe somebody flew this perhaps, or checked all the parts, make sure they're working. Okay, looks like you got some prop guards here that you can install. You will probably need to change the screws because that will change the thickness of the plate that the screws are going through to the motors, and probably have to use those washers as well. Looks like they give you some additional connectors here for different receiver options, and they even throw in a USB cable with it's a micro connector on the end. They give you some 1935 props here, 3-bladed. Looks like they screw on. They look pretty nice. So you get a 350 milliamp hour 2S battery. The C rating is not printed on here. You get a JST connector and a balance lead. Looks like you get a prop removal tool. That's really for, looks like for brushed motors, so I'm not really sure how that would work here. You get a couple of extra, looks like battery rubber bands, and this is the channel chart for the VTX and color codes for changing your channels. So here's a closer look at the quad itself. It's very light and small, and these motors are really tiny. I have this on my multi-GP build, swinging 2.5-inch propellers, and it's very light. The components on here are really different. These are the 3-amp ESCs. Looks like it's an ESC PDB all-in-one underneath there, but it's very big compared to like a 6-amp or a 10-amp 4-in-1 ESC. And you can see the motor wires connecting directly to the corners here. You got your flight control board there in the middle, and that looks like not a square Pico BLX style 20x20, but looks like a custom board here as well, with some connectors here probably for your UARTs or LEDs. And you got your top plate here with your video transmitter on top, and that's your button for changing your channels and bands, and it's got a whip antenna here on top. And this is the 800 TV line camera. It's a typical micro camera on a lot of these micro builds. Here's a look at the bottom. You got your strap here for your battery, and they just got this receiver just hanging out underneath here. I don't know if that's a really good place to put that. There is a gap here between the battery strap and these screw holes and where the PDB ESCs are. And there's a sticky pad here that doesn't look like it's stuck onto anything. Hold on. So it's not actually stuck onto anything. The adhesive on the side hasn't been exposed, only on the side that receiver is connected to. And this is a micro FreeSky receiver. It's an AC800 with a single micro antenna. I think maybe they are intending to have you put the receiver underneath the second of the straps. So there's 2 battery straps here, maybe sticking it under both of them like so, and then putting the battery in between those. I'm not exactly sure how to figure out how to configure that, so this is pretty unusual. And I may actually switch this receiver out for the FlySky micro receiver so I can use my Evolution to fly it. Although I think I'll fly with the Taranis at first. And then back here you got a really unusual battery connector. It's actually using a 2S balance lead connector here with some really thin gauged wire. This is 26 gauge wire here, so even thinner than what's on a lot of JST connectors. So I'm not sure if this is such a good idea. I might switch this out for a JST connector with some thicker wire. Although I doubt this is really going to be drawing too many amps, so maybe the wire isn't going to be that big of a factor. I'll have to see if the wire or the connector gets hot. So go ahead and I'll connect this up to the Betaflight configurator and take a look at how things are set up on the computer. Okay, so we'll take a look at how this is configured in Betaflight configurator. So it looks like the receiver is set up on UR2, and it's a serial-based S-Bus receiver. Got multi-shot here, and it looks like these are the default min and max throttle settings. You got the accelerometer on, 4K for the gyro and PID. You have black box enabled, and I think it's probably a pretty small amount of black box data, maybe 8 megabytes. Here are your fail-safe settings. I'm going to pretty much not change anything. I'm going to fly it stock. These are the PID settings, and this is also, by the way, Betaflight 3.01 and the SP Racing F3 target. These P values look kind of low, and the D values look kind of low. So I'm gonna go ahead and bump these up right now because I know that it's not going to be flyable with these settings. So I'm going to bump P up to 45 and for the roll, and 55 for the pitch, and I'm going to go with 30 and 35 for the D. And I'm going to increase my roll rate to 2.75. And let's see how that flies. Save that. Now the receiver is pretty easy to bind. You do have to plug in the battery to bind it to your Taranis. It just binds in D8 mode. So you plug in the battery, the receiver will start flashing red, and then you go into your model setup and hit the bind button, and it'll bind right, it'll turn solid. You do have to power cycle the quad, and then it'll be bound. Just gotta make sure that your channel mapping is correct. On mine it was TAER, and so I had to change it to the channel mapping on my radio, which is AETR, and everything is seems to be in the correct order and moving in the correct direction, which is what you want to do. Make sure you do that, so you make sure your channels aren't reversed. And in this is how the modes are set up. You have arming on aux 1, like this, and it looks like you have aux 2 for angle and horizon mode. And something that I just noticed is that the motors, or I'm sorry, the ESCs are not calibrated, so I'm going to go show you how to do that real quick. You go to the motors tab, and you have to click this box here. It says I understand the risks, so you can do all these calibrations. And what you got to do is you got to first unplug the battery. So I'm going to do that, and then you're going to
telemetry lost.
Okay, so I got a telemetry lost on the receiver, and you want to take this all the way up to the max, then plug in the battery. And drag it down. So that should properly set your calibration, and then you can find out what your min throttle value should be by slowly moving these values up, and then you can see where the motor starts spinning. I noticed that this wasn't working correctly because the motors weren't spinning at the same rate. So that'll do it for the basic setup here for the first flight. I'll go ahead and put the props on, and we'll go take it for a fly. Hey guys, so GearBest is having a 3rd anniversary sales coming up in a couple of days, and there'll be a link in the description. You guys could check out the sale. They've got coupons that are coming out, as well as some prizes and some of these things called lucky draws, as well as daily flash deals. So I'll put a link in the description if you guys want to check out that sale. And additionally, if you put in the hashtag I'll put on the screen here in the comments, you can enter for a $20 giveaway that GearBest is offering on this video, which I will announce at a later time, probably in about a week or two from now. If you put in that hashtag in the comment, I will select a winner from those hashtags, and you guys can, whoever wins that, can select a $20 prize from GearBest, whatever you want, up to $20. So I'll put a link in the description to this page. Let me know if you guys have any questions about this video or the contest or whatever, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.